We're live, by the way. We're live. I have flu jabs, but I don't have any. Do I need a pneumonia jab?
No, it's because I'm diabetic.
Oh, right, got yeah.
Yes, and yeah. And
well, one of my streamer friends, he got COVID that set off pneumonia in his lungs.
Yeah.
And he was, so I shouldn't tell you this, Medi.
No, well, you only have to jab once in your life. It's like TB in a sense. You only have to pneumonia jab once, unless there's something very serious, in which case they'll give you more.
Right.
So, oh my God. Only one job a year, like life. Yeah.
So he was in a medical coma for 4 weeks, and really pleased to say that he's come out of it and he's, making slow recovery back to normal. But it was interesting that it wasn't the COVID that actually caused him the issues, if that, so.
Yeah. Well, hopefully for his sake, he was in a European country.
Yeah, he was in England. He's in England, so he was
just instant bankruptcy in America.
He was well looked after by the National Health.
For free, yeah.
Mr. Pickles, you're very quiet today.
I don't have any moments to interject here. You guys are going without me. It's were you on mute? Oh,
I should have seen you were on mute so I could ask you to unmute. I really like that. I've got an interview tomorrow with Mike about Elevation, which is a new. Well, it's not a new book. It's been out for a while, but it's an introductory M-Space campaign, which is interesting. I've got it. I've read it, but I wasn't. I do like it, but I never like to start with a pre-made thing, no matter what. So
it's always nice to get the characters settled and put the pre-made in as like an additional story somewhere.
Yeah, it's that bit when I suddenly think I haven't been able to get anything done this week, and sort of like pop it in. But it's an interesting, well, it's almost like a campaign. I mean, it's quite a thick book, but yeah. And then, of course, Clarence will be on in January about more M-Space stuff. So,
any news about the testing the? Is it diving for cover? What's it called?
Yeah, it's well. There's two things at the moment in the pipeline. There's the new combat module. So there's actually 2 already out, and there's another one coming out. So one of them's called, I think it's Brace Yourself, then Dive for Cover, and then there's a new one coming out. So it does melee combat. Ranged combat is the dive for cover, and then the new one does something else that I can't remember. It might be mounted and flying combat or something like that. And then there's a new thing coming out for Rubble and Ruin, which is an apocalyptic setting. So there's a new thing coming out for that as well. And then, so there's loads of things in the pipeline. I can actually have a rest for about 6 months when they start, I think. one of them will take, he said, about 4 to 5 sessions. So that'll be it.
About 10, yeah.
Yeah. So we can slow it up. We had
this discussion on Thursday. Well, we didn't play this Thursday, but the Thursday before was we're 20 episodes in. And we're only level 4, and Zen was like, well, I like that because it's more role playing, whereas the other group like just right, next kill, next kill.
Yeah,
where we're taking forever just advancing the story, but
yeah, and so they'll be like 56 level when by the time they meet you, and you'll be like 4th.
That's right, for our 100th special, we all meet together, and it's like, oh my God, they killed us. We shouldn't have talked so much.
Superpowers. So, so hello, everybody. Welcome.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, welcome. It's good to chat. Welcome along to tonight's Mythras session. We are currently in Mythras, which is a fantasy setting. The players concluded the adventure called Sleeping Erwood last week, and we did our experience rolls and everything, and so we're ready to progress in a new episode, a new adventure this week. And then after this one, we will, everybody will change their mindset and switch back to their M space characters as we go and blast off into space. And I'm in two minds whether or not to do the scenario that gives you a ship or not at the moment. So
the answer is do that scenario.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Too soon.
I need to be careful because once you've got a ship, that's it. You can go anywhere in the galaxy and not where I want you to go.
You'll be like, why don't you go? This is where it's at. No, we're just going to go.
We go that way.
What's your planet? We got loads of money now. We're going to sit there for the rest of our lives.
We go to this volcano planet with harshness just so that we can get one little blueprint of our enemy ship. Or then go to essentially the equivalent of Las Vegas town and just fuck all the whores.
I think I've got a clever ruse, I think, that I've been thinking about that allows you to have a ship, but with some sort of training reins on you. But anyway, that's for another time and place. So yeah, so the party are all back in Lindo. And I'll give a quick synopsis of what happened in between the last adventure and this one. After the players have had an opportunity to say who they are and who they are playing in tonight's adventure. We start, as always, with Mr. Pickles. Go for it.
I'm Mr. Pickles, and I play Bartleby Fumus. He is our team's theist. The goddess that he serves is the light moon goddess Amriel. Through her, he's able to work a lot of miracles, but all of them are basically about helping people, protecting people, recovering wounds. Bartleby recently got a graduation, so he has access to a lot of new miracles and the deeper temple libraries of Amriel. And one in particular allows him to put people back together like in one quick move rather than individually putting their arms back on. He can also give energy to people, which is very helpful in Mythras since you can get lots of fatigue, especially in combat or climbing mountains. Bartleby's able to return some of that. Beyond his abilities with his goddess Amriel, he's also our team's historian. He knows a lot about monsters, and he's learning more and more about poisons, mostly to help people and identify things when certain team members get poisoned by evil ladies in a convoy into the woods. Bartleby is very friendly with the guards in town. He's known for being a friend of the guards. He helps out in the slums a lot, of which he has streetwise skills. He has knowledge of that actual area. And people know him as the savior of the slums. Bartleby is literate. And with that, I'll pass it on to Captain Kangaroo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Captain Kangaroo. I will be playing Cyrus Apologises. He is kind of the bad boy of the group. He's very fiery and ferocious, but at the same time, he is very intelligent.
From Russia?
I'm changing him as I go. Very intelligent.
Sorry.
Damn it.
Do you have nuclear vessels?
Do you have any good weapons? Yeah. Very, very naughty. No, he's the cast of the group. He's here to really wreak havoc on the enemies, while Bartleby's more of the, hey, I'm going to sit back and if you call me, if you need me, but really, obviously you guys don't need me, which happens a lot. But besides that, it's fine. Sometimes we just need a guy that kind of just like be our cheerleader and, heal our little scratches here and there. From there, like he's slowly going up in order. Then I keep forgetting to look exactly where he's at on the order that he's decided to.
We know now. We know. Don't
detail. We know. Okay, we do know. Okay.
I know.
Okay, he knows. As long as he knows, he's the only guy that should know. Because but I'm hoping it's just not like the lowest of the on the ladder. It's like three steps higher on this 18-foot ladder. But besides that, I'm going to stop hogging the microphone and pass it off to Medevac.
enjoying to listen to somebody else rumble for a change. Hi, I'm Medivac and I play Hazard Khan. He is the group's nomad tracker scout fighter. In a sense, he wears, as people have to call them, pajamas, but they're not his quilted armor that covers his body. Pretty much, yes, pretty much like the picture behind me. It's he likes to keep that. He does tend to keep his arms covered because one of those is burnt and blackened from the first time he met this lusty party. He's recently spent a bit of time with the dryads of the forest, learning from them and making them more, just trying to impart more knowledge to them and more knowledge and get more knowledge from them so he can pass on to his brotherhood that he's a member of, who do keep all history and knowledge. So there is a complete, I've lost track of my train of thought. So there's always a record of the history of these lands. They're completely impartial, but they do try to maintain a particular balance. So yes, he favours a scimitar and a short spear. He's very good with a short spear, and he's equally as good with his scimitar. He does have a habit of diving headlong into combat to save his friends. And he's learning to be more. When he first met the party, he was very black and white. You're good or you're evil. And now he's learning to be a bit more accepting, but he's still quite quick to judge people. And with that, I shall pass it on to Ulrich.
And you have a really nice thing that hangs around your neck as well.
Oh yes, I do. I have a jaguar tooth that hangs around my neck,
yep.
Which is my. Well, it talks to me. It's empathically.
Yeah,
and it's very. We're getting closer, I feel.
Yeah, and you're perfecting your going into a trance.
Well, I won't say perfection, but I'm using the materials very well. So yes.
Okay, so I put the link to your Order of the Phoenix and the work we've been doing, and we'll play that a little bit by ear. I think you are one step up, Cyrus, and Bartleby is now 3 steps up, I believe. Yeah. Just to remind you, there's some other things that came up when I was investigating new rules, etc. Things like your combat effects of your weapon. The main ones are dictated by it. So things like your short spear can impale, okay? But, for example, my one-handed battle axe that Ulrich uses, that can only bleed and sunder. So I can't impale with my battle axe at all. Sunder is when you actually do damage to shields or armor. Hence things like battle axes have that. Things like a club can do bash and stun location, but like a scimitar would not be able to do bash or impale. Its weapon is its combat special is bleed. But please do remember that there's lots of other combat specials that you can use that are not based on there. But if any issues, then we'll just go for it as we continue the game. So we're going to jump into it that some time has passed. Okay, so Hazra, first of all, with you stay down in Irwood to make sure that the treaty with the Dryads was maintained. And then when the new people came down, they took over the mining, the lumberjacking, sorry, and they agreed and they erected not necessarily signs saying don't chop this down, it's a Dryad's grove, but more things like do not enter and things like that. The Dryads also helped with this and created thick bramble bushes across the entrance. So there's no real way of gaining access to it. You would need to hack your way through. but with an understanding between yourself, Hazra, and the people from Lindo, they have agreed to hopefully find another sacred grove where the power of nature all converge to the same place, and then eventually they might move. They don't like the idea of the forest slowly being cutting down all around them, apart from their little grove in the middle. The people who've come down are members of the guild, the Merchant Guild, and they've set up some really positive remedies to get things back in order to ensure that Count Bastion's ship or boat is created. If you had any money that was going to be donated to you, you decided how that was going to happen, and Count Bastion does comply and gives them out. Cyrus, there's just, and I didn't know whether or not you were hoping I'd forgotten about this, there is the point about an apology, because you made comment to Count Bastion's performance.
Virility?
Yeah, performance, I think. And there was some discussion that you would have to apologize in order to gain the money that was coming towards you. To you. That's completely up to you, however. If you wish to make a formal apology, then that's absolutely fine. If you wish to forego the money, then that's absolutely fine as well. What would you like to do?
I would like to, you know what? I'll take one for the team. Right? And obviously, this is just to benefit only you guys and has nothing to do with my actions in the long run. So, yeah, I can.
Can Cyrus
hustle out.
apologize? Can Cyrus apologize without having any digs or comments in the speech?
Does he get nicer with alcohol, or
No.
does he get worse?
Yeah, I think if anything, it's just less restraints.
Yes.
The
The training wheels come off.
Yeah.
And he goes straight up on the on the wheelie.
Do you have a courtesy skill?
I do.
Oh, that seems to be an appropriate.
Not great.
Well,
At 98, it's called anti-courtesy.
yeah. Roll it in any case. Everybody has their luck back. I have 0 luck points at the present moment of time. So yeah, roll your courtesy. Let's see what kind of job you make of it.
All right, all right. So courtesy skill. I just want to make sure it's 41%.
That's not bad.
It's not terrible. It's there.
Yeah. I thought it would be.
I'd have like an 8.
I thought it would be.
Because I just refused to
average.
use it because I'm never in a position in which I'm like, outside of wooing women that definitely want to murder me.
I don't think you did any wooing in that scenario.
It felt like it. Turned out it was just my ego being stroked.
Ooh.
You know what? I'm going to use my point of luck for this one. Sorry, fellas. I know we're giving ammo to inwils, but yeah.
Means we can't use ours for the rest of the night until like 10.
We weren't going to anyways. Come on. No! Louis Devil!
Okay, so Cyrus approaches, is summoned to Count Bastion, and you sort of like, Cyrus tries to utter an apology, but it lacks any form of substance or humility as he utters the words. And the Count is okay with it, but not 100% sure that Cyrus actually means what he's saying. And there might have been some words muttered underneath Cyrus's breath as he was uttering it. How much money did the Count say he would give you each?
it was a pretty
12,000.
hefty amount, but most of it was going to be a donation to our respective orders.
Mm.
How much was it?
I want to say
12,000.
it was like 5,000 each.
It's 4,000 each, wasn't it?
4,000 each.
Or 3,000 each. 12,000.
Let's not say 5,000. Let's go for 5,000. I think it was 5,000. No,
I've got 12,000, and then I've got in the same circle Brutus and Wagon.
That makes total sense. Right, 1 second. To be honest with you, Mr. Bartleby, how much did you think?
I was really confused. I heard 10,000 at the time, and I thought it was for each of us, but then there was phrasing that made me confused there.
Okay, then.
I know I was giving a big chunk to Margot Aura.
Yeah. I had it in my head that it was actually 6,000 silver, but I might have been wrong with that. I'll go back.
We'll roll a 1d20 and whatever.
1d20.
We'll roll 1d20 and we'll times that whatever it lands on by 1,000, and that'll be how much we make each.
I'm pretty sure I asked for 1,500 for each of us initially, and he went over that.
Yeah,
he did, but he went significantly over that because this was important to
Let
him.
me get rid of my background, and I'll show you my writings that I've got.
This was his penetrative ship across the world, so he definitely wanted to make sure it was nice and big. These are not something I said during the apology.
So I've got written down from yonks ago, from when we started.
12,000.
I tend to think, I think it was it 12,000 among you all then?
I think it must have been.
That sounds right.
Amount.
Yeah.
So that's 4. So that's 3,000 apiece.
Yeah. That sounds.
We're giving the NPC
Oh,
DMPC.
Yeah, you are. It's
crap.
And if you object to it, then
Chop your head off.
Yeah.
And slice your soul.
Okay then.
Can you fly, Bobby?
I'm gonna hit his head with an axe because he helps us save somebody.
Because I took a kill. I took a kill. So one thing that I developed with Hengist when he was with us was this idea of a taunt skill. And so I never got to actually see it in action. So Ulrich has got it now. Combat specials like that would be like 5 skill rolls to use. So basically we're going to see how it works. It's not an actual rule, but I really like the idea that the tank or somebody can actually taunt somebody else off, so I see it very much like if Bartleby's carrying behind his shield, magical shield, somebody with taunt could say like, "Oi, bad breath," or something, and they turn around and come for them. So it just takes a free action, and the opponent has to do a willpower check in order to do it. So we spend the money how you wish and take off living expenses if that's how you want to keep your monetary finance in order. But I'm going to jump you forward now to probably about a couple of weeks after you've come back from the Dryads or Sleeping Erwood. Just to let you know, the guards and the servants came back with you and have all gained new employment. The guards are actually now part of the city guard and have a really nice home there. Basil,
are they spreading the rumor of our of how amazing we are?
Yeah, they're spreading the rumor about how wonderful you fought and all the details that they heard about the journey to Erwood and the sounds from the caravans and things like that, things that they might have heard. And and you've been back in Lindo for a good 2 weeks, and the story starts on an evening. It's about 10 o'clock at night. The hairy hobgoblin is going really well. You can see across the way that Christoph's tavern is going well as well, but there's certainly a change in clientele. You know, Basil's place caters for Basil's people, while Christoph's place caters for Christoph's people. And that seems to be a welcome arrangements. And Basil, when you Hazard take your food in, Basil comments about how well it is going, and apparently they've even had a chat to each other when they've been stood outside their inns or taverns and actually spoken to each other. And Basil considers that Christoph is a good man, and really proud to have him. Basil did offer Christoph to come in and taste his wares. However, Christoph refused kindly and politely and didn't extend the invitation to Basil to go into his tavern at all. So the night is wearing on. Everybody is having a good time. It's not a huge party night. It's quite a mellow night, and people are drinking and eating. There's a bard playing in the corner, telling stories of great exploits. As of yet, not talking about yours. I think it was Hengist. Didn't Hengist have a passion called Famed Warrior?
Yes.
Yeah. And
He
so
had a bard he was paying.
Yeah, and so he had that as a passion, so he could roll that, and if he was successful, then the bard would be singing songs about him and things like that. I might actually do that.
Quite cool, that.
I might give you a skill altogether. Can you see what I mean? Like a party, and then after each adventure, give you a certain number of points to add on to it. So it naturally goes up. I like that idea. I'm going to...
The danger read his ugly head. They bravely turned around and fled. Yes.
What?
Brave Sir Robin.
Right. I have no idea what you just...
It's Monty Python.
All right, yeah.
Yes.
So it's night time. The weather is coming in a little bit chilly, but still it's fine. And you probably get into that time in the evening, Hazra, when you sort of like are thinking, you know, you're going to be up early in the morning, checking traps, etc., and you're about to go home, when all of a sudden the inn door bursts open. And when I say bursts open, it's as if somebody has stumbled into the room and then has stopped. And, you know, there's a few people sort of like look round, and then you notice that you sort of like look around it, and it seems to be a young apprentice, definitely an initiate of your order, Cyrus, of the Red Order, the Order of Phoenix. And this young lad, you figure he might be about 10, maybe 11, sort of like stumbles in. He's wearing very proudly a red robe, but you notice that it's too long for him, and he keeps stepping on it, and the sleeves are over his hands, and he sort of like drops the hood down, and which is miles too big for his little head, and he quickly looks around. And you notice, Cyrus, that he looks around and then sees you and almost like acknowledges you and puts his hand up as if to wave, not to acknowledge, not in a cool way, but almost like a young child's wave. And he sort of like waves at you like this across the tavern.
I gotta stare blankly at him. Just kind of stare and then continue drinking and talking.
Okay, and
with the rest.
this happens for me all the time. I think somebody's waving at me, and I wave back, and suddenly realise it. And he sort of like goes, you know, he slows down his wave and looks around quite a little bit, somewhat embarrassed, and turns round and walks out of the tavern. And literally 10, 20 seconds later, he returns with somebody else, a man, a middle-aged man who is proudly wearing red robes, and he comes in with this young initiate again and drops his hood, and you recognize him instantly, Cyrus, as Goshawk. If you remember, Goshawk is your mentor, and he sort of like looks around, and the boy sort of like points over to you, and he then starts to move across, and he keeps sort of like saying, "Excuse me, sorry, sorry," and it sort of like moves people out the way, and he comes straight over, and the first thing you notice, Cyrus, is that he's rather out of breath. And he seems to be somewhat panting, and you wonder how he's actually got to this place, and you figure he's either, well, he probably can't run, but he's definitely walked very quickly. And he comes across and he pulls out the chair, and he slumps down into it, and he's heavy breathing, and he sort of like says, "Oh, Cyrus, I'm so pleased that we have found you."
I've been here like for weeks.
Well, it's something
like right here.
Something very, very, very dangerous has just happened in the Order's own building.
What? did someone leave a little something in the restroom, or what?
No. Well, you won't believe what's happened. I was sat there in my office taking my time over some quality assurance of a mighty fine vintage wine that I have recently procured for sharing with the rest of the Order, when from the upper stories there were several bangs and explosions, and, well, you will not believe what's happened. You really will not believe it.
Someone figured out they had a new rack spell.
Worse. You know your recruit, your young girl that you invited to the Order.
Not ringing any bells.
Yes, you know her.
Okay.
Melanie. Well, you won't believe what she's just done. She's just taken a pot shot at the Order's mage, the person in charge of our Order here in Lindo.
I turned to Bartleby. The mage is the strong guy. He's like the person that has all the gold robes in your Order.
And what's more worrying, and this is somewhat concerning, is that she wasn't by herself.
Who's she with?
Well, all I can tell you is what I heard from the scurrying servants and lower initiates.
Speak it, you old man! What?
Like this person. There was a young man dressed in black.
Wait, from like another Order?
Well, all I know, I didn't see them. I'm just hearing what has gone on. But you won't believe the most important thing. Not only has Melanie, in my opinion, gone off her rocker to actually cast spells at our mages, the head of our Order in Lindo, which would have been quite significant if it wasn't for her partner accompanying in her crime or dressed in black. She's stolen the book. Roll your Order of Phoenix Passion.
Ooh. How clueless is Cyrus today?
Yeah. Cyrus turns around and says, "What book?" Unless you want to roll it again and give me another point of luck.
No. I want to do this. The book.
You're not literate.
Book. For their sake, tell them what the book is, so that way they know how important this is.
And he sort of like, just roll your deceit roll.
Oh shit! Do I even? I should really focus on this roll. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. There we go.
Yeah, and Goshawk sort of like
even more important.
Yeah, Goshawk sort of like takes and almost like addresses Hazra, Bartleby, and Ulrich at this point and says, so every order house has a book. Within the book contains all the spells of all levels for the order, all the spells that are specific to them. Now, of course, we all know our own spells, but this holds spells of right way up to the archmage type, and each order has one. It's a very practical book, but it's, well, virtually, it's almost like ceremonial. I mean, the mage knows everything, but apparently, and I'm not too sure what was going on at all, but apparently Melanie decided to, and I'm only going from what people have said, that she wanted to cast the more higher magic in the order and approached the mage, and the mage refused. And so, well, the rest is history. And she stole the book.
Isn't good at all. She's got to know more spells than me.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Cyrus, because I have got a cunning plan. It is more cunning than the cunningest fox in the world.
Hopefully it's not hanging out at the porridge buffet down the street.
No. I see a opportunity here, Cyrus.
All right. I'm listening.
I see an opportunity how yourself and maybe me, if you're so kind, would be able to gain some sort of reputation and possibly a leg up, further up the order. And I know how much you hate Melanie. It's quite clear by
it's more of an indifference, but sure, we go with hate.
Yes, well, yes, and we all hate her, really. And it's a shame that it was you who actually encouraged her to come to... Anyway, I digress.
It was more of a mock, but okay.
I have a cunning plan. If you and your gallant heroes here could somehow stop Melanie or capture her and bring her back, then it would do you a great amount of favour within the order. Mm-hmm. As well as, may I say, maybe getting some sweet justice back for the way she's treated you in the past.
You're saying literally the best things right now.
So,
I don't like them.
Anyway, you will be amazed by my clever plan.
Tell me.
Well, I quickly dispatched 4 of the younger initiates and got them to follow Melanie and this dark black robed man, and got them to follow them to see where they are going to. How clever was I?
Okay, and where did you last see them?
Well, we are arranging to meet back here. Well, not here, but at the chosen point, as soon as they found out whereabouts in Lindo they are. They are young. They are maybe, well... And he turns to the boy next to him and says, how old are you? And he sort of like goes, I'm 10. 10 years old, Master. Oh, well, the rest of them are slightly, well, this age or younger.
See, Goshawk, I want to take a second here, kind of to regroup on what you were telling me. You sent 4 extremely young, very inexperienced initiates to go chase someone who not only was able to handle herself against the archmage of our order, but at the same time steal all the most powerful spells, and you think she's not gonna not only notice them but do away with them if she has a chance?
Do you think I should have sent more?
No, I think you should have figured out a better way. Maybe be a little bit more, let's say, I don't know, stealthy about it.
Well, they're young.
Now she knows.
They're young. They're blending.
They're wearing a red fucking robe.
Oh, yes.
This one is way too big.
And he sort of like turns to the young boy and said, did I tell them to remove their robes? Oh, no, master, you didn't. Well,
now we can't even... Here's the thing, and Goshawk, hopefully I don't have to do this too much to get your attention on this one, because, you know, dementia and all. Here's the thing. When they do find where she's going, and she, you know, for sure knows that she's being followed, essentially what you set me up for is a trap.
Oh, no, not at all. You are miles cleverer than, well, her, you know.
Hence the prediction.
We know this, Cyrus. This could really, and really, I mean, I know how you operate. Anything for that power, anything for that power. I mean, come off it. They're just, well, initiates, aren't they?
Yeah, well, we were both initiates at one point.
Well, I was initiate for a very short time.
Yeah, well, that's because you're lucky somehow.
Well, they have their jobs. Let's face it, Cyrus. The order is set up on ranks. People higher than us tell us what to do, and we get to tell the initiates what to do.
All right, well, here's my question for you. What do you plan to do once we find out where she is with this stranger?
Well, I'm hoping that you could maybe seek revenge. And
that's an underlying plan, yes.
He sort of like comes closer onto the table, looks at everybody and winks.
I'll have to figure this one out, because it's going to be more difficult. Because you're talking about someone who obviously
of course,
below
Cyrus.
me in abilities.
Of course, Cyrus.
But
if you considered this beyond your capabilities, and if you are not able to handle Melanie, then, well, I'm sure it would stay completely in this room.
Goshawk, oh my god. All right. It's just going to take a little bit to plan this out, all right?
Yes, so, and maybe your friends here could help. Pajama Man there, would you be willing to help your colleague here? I think he's actually your leader. I remember him saying that he had a valiant troop of mercenaries at his disposal.
That probably does sound accurate. Yeah, I'm definitely probably the leader of this group.
I forgive you, my friend, because you do not realize that these are my armor. Many a time,
that's
Bartleby
armor.
And Cyrus has commented on my nightwear, and I shouldn't really wear it around the city, but it's not. It's my armor. It's,
well,
you know,
I thought it was
not
something.
metal. It's very safe and and I feel very comfortable with it.
I really did think it was probably something out that old film, The Sound of Music. But yeah, no. Now that you mention it, does not look like curtains at all.
But we will always help our friends. But this is something that is not of his making. This is something that perhaps you're making, because yes, it is true that Cyrus suggested that this Melanie join your order, but after the fact, she was yours to teach and to tutor and to show her the ways of your order.
Oh, no, I'm not that high up. I only get the outcasts. No offense, Cyrus. But it's interesting that you call Cyrus your friend. Should you not? Cyrus, I'm a little bit disappointed in you. You know, words and language mean everything. You should not encourage your members of your guild or group or, well, the lower people. They should not address you as friend. They should address you as master or sir.
True. I feel like inaccurate statements or inaccurate titles shouldn't should be paid attention more. But at the same time, I've called you mage a few times, so we all know
And
where you really are.
who is this?
So
Who is the person there with? Is he one of those strange theists? He's pointing at Bartleby. Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of those people that will talk and lead nowhere. But everyone's like, hey, here's my money.
Well, yes, he seems rather quiet at the present moment in time. It's good that you have him in order, Cyrus. I am pleased that you having, speak when you are spoken to, theist.
Well, nah, it's not that. He's just very confused by everything we're talking about because none of it makes any sense to him. Because we're not really asking for money. We're asking for, abilities to stop things ourselves.
Yes, I remember that late night drinking session that we had, and yes, I see what you mean by him. If he doubled his brain cells, he would have 2.
I don't remember saying that because that involved math.
Well, it was after several bottles of finest vintage. So he is just what? Goshawk has this amazing ability that he's talking about everybody as if those people are not
not even there.
Yeah. And you almost like get the Hazra and Ulrich and Bartleby. You get this feeling that people in Cyrus's order this order that Cyrus belongs to probably carry out some very similar traits, that you've probably seen in Cyrus over your time. And Goshawk sort of like looks at you, Bartleby, and says, will you say a prayer for us? Oh, he's mute. Oh, he's mute, Cyrus. You could have told me he was mute.
This is the first I've witnessing this. Here's the thing, though. Obviously,
Cyrus,
Melanie herself.
Could you give him permission to talk, and then I can readdress it? Let's try.
Bartleby.
Okay.
You should talk.
Okay.
You should talk.
Look,
Bartleby, talk.
You interrupted me, Cyrus.
Oh, I wouldn't let him talk like that to you, Cyrus.
I think Cyrus can accept that, considering how many times I've put him back together after a particularly devastating combat. The questions I have here...
Oh, Cyrus, is he a bit of a liar? Because all the stories you've told us was that you were the linchpin of the party, the person who did all the heroic things, and these, minions actually ran at the first sign of danger.
It's very
well, it wasn't more of ran. They more of ran towards danger and then got a little scared and ran away when danger was completely destroyed. But
Cyrus, on our last adventure, did totally take care of the lady who is the evil lady who we came up against for several nights.
Yeah, no, because I had to figure out what we're dealing with, and so I decided to really investigate, hands-on, figure out what kind of dangers we were going to have to deal with later. Here's the thing, Goshawk.
Just to let you know, Cyrus, he's not even flinching when you change the name. It's as if it's almost like that's a minor, almost like childish way to behave, and it literally is having no effect on him at all.
Surprising for the person who spends most of his time hanging out with children. Look, Melanie obviously had some help in her attack on the order. And just like me, I need my help, and I need maybe mindsets that are different than what the order has, because obviously she's from the order. She knows what to expect from people similar to her. So when I have a theist like this, even though his magic is, just a whole bunch of tomfoolery, nonetheless, his mindset's different and his approach is going to be different. Just like I have Hazra here. Hazra is going to be able to approach things in ways I have no idea work, but I guess
Yes.
do. And then we have this tin can right here, who I'm assuming is going to be well at absorbing all of the damage that she's going to be throwing at me, which I'm
You
cool with because I
you
prefer not
have
to die.
you have got together a very sensible group of people. Do
Yeah.
you pay them much?
They don't. They love me so much they don't need pay.
Oh,
They just love the venture.
oh,
Weird.
very good ploy, Cyrus.
Mm.
You have
Mm.
minions around you who you have convinced they don't even require payment.
They pine for the adventure. That's what
I really would like,
overall.
I really like it. Maybe you could teach me how you manage these minions to actually interact with you.
And I thought you were supposed to be teaching me.
And at that point,
Anyways.
the tavern door literally bursts open, and
Again, you're letting the heat
Yeah.
out.
about a young lad, it's definitely like a boy, maybe 8 or 9 years old, falls into the room and lands onto the floor and lays motionless there. And Goshawk turns around and sees the guy, the lad, and says, "Oh, he bloody took his time to get here. I really must think." Would anybody in the party like to do anything?
Yes. Seeing this young lad, what's he wearing as he comes in?
Rather tattered
Red robes.
red robes. And Hazard, just make a perception roll from where you are.
Certainly.
Yeah, you notice you probably get your eyes to him quicker than anybody else, and you do notice that there are certain parts of his red robe that are actually darker red and quite moist looking.
But Bartleby, I need your assistance quickly.
Bartleby is more than happy to leave this table as soon as he sees the kid collapse. He's going to go investigate and, most importantly, be away from these people.
Ditto. So I'm gonna push a path through the room to this boy.
Yeah.
With Bartleby behind me.
Yeah, and everybody sort of like stopped talking now. They're all looking, and Basil's leaning over the counter saying, "Well, I hope he ain't bleeding on my floorboards."
All right, fine. I'll approach 2, as if I care.
Yeah, as you sort of like move away, Goshawk says, "I'm sure your minions can deal with this, Goshawk." Cyrus.
All right. I'm gonna use another roll of my Order of the Phoenix passion, and I'm gonna kind of see if I can identify why stuff looks so tattered. Does it seem like more of a spell that did it, or if he just
Okay, then. So
fell in front of a carriage?
you move over here, and Goshawk sort of like comes along behind you and sort of like is peering over. And Bartleby, what would you like to do when you're there?
I would like to use my healing skills to analyze his wounds and see if I can help him somewhere.
Okay, then. So roll your healing skill. Yeah, nice. Yeah, he seems to have over him, his face is very white, very drawn. You figure he has some small wounds around him, as if he's been in a fight, maybe a teenage boy fight. But the reason, once you roll him over, you notice that he seems to have a really deep wound across his stomach. That's what is leaking blood considerably at this point in time. And just looking at it, all of you round about, it's definitely maybe a sword wound or a spear wound or something like that. It looks as if something's been driven very deep into the boy's stomach and then withdrawn, maybe even with a slight twist as it was coming out again. And you sort of like roll him over. He seems really, really very close to death where he is. Bartleby,
Well,
yeah.
it smells like it's time for my healing powers of Amriel. I'm assuming, apologies if it doubles. I'm assuming the heal would at least stabilize this.
Possibly, yeah, it would do.
So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use my folk prayer, quick word to Amriel.
Ooh.
Woo!
So I think that means it doesn't use any magic points.
I believe so.
Yeah. So you cast your heal spell.
Light of Amriel.
Is that a folk magic skill?
It is folk magic.
Right. And what does it do to serious wounds? Yes, against serious or major wounds to hit, no hit points. However, the spell stabilizes. Yeah. And so you cast the spell, and Amriel's heal sort of like staunches the flow of blood and slowly starts to knit together the wound, which seems really deep and brutally administered. And Goshawk sort of like is staring round you, Cyrus, looks down and said, "Oh, damn, I'm going to have to find another initiate now." And he sort of like looks down and he says, Max, where are the others? And turns to you, Cyrus, and said, "This is part of the group of 4 that I sent to follow Melanie."
I put that one together. All right.
I always knew you were quick off the mark.
I put my hand on Gasbag's chest, kind of push him back a bit. All right, give him some space. Maybe we can deal with this one a little bit.
And Bartleby is the boy seems to be muttering, or his mouth seems to be moving, but he's either very, very quiet or there's no sound coming out.
Can I lean in to try and see if I can hear any faint whispers?
Yeah, and he sort of like utters the this very broken up sentence. So I'm not going to break it up for you. I'm going to give you the key information that comes from it. And he says these words that they went into the sewers just by the blacksmiths. And saying that, he's just sort of like being stabilized, but the huge amount of loss of blood, he sort of like passes out. Basil sort of like comes around and says, "Oh, is there anything I can do here?"
If you have any, hopefully sort of clean rags, it might be better to prop up his head a little bit.
Yeah, so Basil sort of like talks about that, he's got a spare cot upstairs that he can put them in.
What I was just about to suggest, can we use my spare bedroom upstairs?
That's fine. And Goshawk says to you, Cyrus, "Well, I hope they're not expecting us to pay."
Goshawk, I'll pay. Just Jesus. Oh my God. All right.
What? Sorry, Cyrus, you said that you're going to
All right.
pay?
Stop. Let me think what he just said. Sewers next to the blacksmith. Can I do it? Is there some sort of navigation check to make sure he's not in the sewers near where we took down that dream
Oh
creature?
no, yeah. The the blacksmiths are closer to the edge of town, to the outer walls. Okay. Bartleby, you'll know that blacksmith well. You've been here, and Cyrus, you've probably heard of it as well. And you know that you've also, all of you, I think, been under the sewers once before.
We've been
several times.
Yeah.
Several times, yeah.
And
We keep going to the sewers.
We like to smell like shit a lot.
yeah,
That's our proof.
and Goshawk leads into you, Cyrus, as well, again, and says, "I wonder what happened to the other three. Do you think they're coming back?"
I wouldn't bet my dice on it.
Oh,
that's why we don't send initiates to do what you could have done yourself.
Oh no, it was far too dangerous for me.
Hence,
far too dangerous.
Okay. It's okay. We spent some children in our wake.
No, we sent some initiates. As you realize, they are below us. Yeah. So, do you think that we can perhaps work together to bring Melanie in? I would make it well worth your while, Cyrus. I will sign the documentation for you to go up a level once your skills are matched to
one level. Wow, how generous of you. Me going up one level for taking on the person who stole the very book that we rely on our entire order on. Wow.
Of
All
course.
Right, thank you.
Of course, if you feel that it is beyond your capabilities, then
I am going to literally pick you up and drop you on the floor, sir. Just shh. Faith. All right.
What happened to Max? Says the other initiate. Oh, shut up, boy. He's dead, or well, nearly dead.
I'm gonna bring Hazra aside. Hazra. What do you think? Do you think they have someplace underground, or you think they're using the sewers to escape the town?
I honestly wouldn't know. I mean, I've never seen any of your order wandering down in the sewers.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
yeah. We don't. Well, usually it's just me.
Yes, I didn't think they would demean themselves being so aloof as you are.
You said the blacksmith is on the edge of town, correct?
Yeah. There's the sewers will do several things. They interlock and interconnect a whole load of places underneath Lindo. There's no recognizable sewers in the slums. The sewers there are the streets. And then most of the sewers either interconnect, but as I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think, Hazra, you guarded the exit to a sewer once?
I did indeed, yes.
Yeah. And so you know that all the sewers eventually lead to the harbour.
That's right.
Yeah. So you think the most likely event is not that. I mean, they could still be in the sewers, or they could be going to the docks.
That's why my thought isn't they have an underground base in the sewer, because
the other thing
Melanie, she probably wouldn't like that. It's the idea is it's being used as an escape route.
The other thing we found out about the sewers wasn't there some broken entrances to places?
Certainly was.
In fact, wasn't that
should we right now, the four of us, once we know this boy's all right, head to the docks and try to see what we know from there? Remember, we do got some people there that are kind of helpful to us if they're still there. Those people, that ship that we fixed.
That I fixed.
I was really bad at gambling to make them beneficial to us.
Oh, Cyrus, believe me, you are not bad at gambling. I can't imagine that anybody would say that you are bad at gambling. Let him believe he did it. That's a good managerial tactic.
Thank you, Gasbag. Anyways.
Please, sir, will Max survive, or is he going to die? He's talking to you, Bartleby.
If you keep harassing him, he's going to die. Just leave him alone. Jesus.
No, he will be fine. He is stable. He just needs rest.
Cyrus, as you talk to him, he flinches a bit, and Goshawk looks at says to you, "Well done, Cyrus. Keep them in their place."
Going. All right. So how about us four head down to the docks, see what we can see. See, we know where the exits usually are. If they're trying to escape via a ship at the port, that's probably the best route. But besides that, if they try to escape otherwise, we don't know. Agree?
We'll look at Bartleby.
Are you talking to? Are you
I'm talking about Bartleby and Hazra and I guess Ulrich or whatever.
rather than
Ulfric. Yeah.
Goshawk?
Goshawk has no fucking clue what he's doing.
I'm sorry, my friend Cyrus, but I'm not comfortable with mages. As I'm getting over my fear of magic, but you want us to go into the sewers with you and combat a group of rogue red cloaks who, if I am to understand right, have gone up against your mightiest wizard.
No, Cyrus is the mighty wizard.
Here's the thing. They don't know that we're thinking ahead on this one. So maybe if we set up a trap at an entrance, we'll have the upper hand.
Sorry.
We've never walked away from a fight, Hazra. You might have some fear, but you don't fear the fight.
Goshawk has done a very effective job at convincing me
What did you just call him then?
Goshawk. He's done an effective job at convincing me that perhaps this girl should go free.
Oh, yeah. Well, she hurt some children. Bartleby.
So, you got Mr. Gus.
You cool with people hurting children, Bartleby, on purpose?
Well, I had a feeling that it would be a bad thing, but then noticing how your order holds themselves, I don't know.
Yeah, in my opinion, there could be some changes, but you can't really expect the old people to really be the progressive arm of any order.
I expected you to not slander your allies in drunken sessions. I expect that from them, but you, Cyrus.
I expect it from me too.
Ulrich talks to Goshawk and says in his very quiet but semi-menacing voice, "How many did you send?" And Goshawk sort of like looks around and is quite intimidated by Ulrich's armor, his white hair, and his obviously tank-like stance. And he sort of says, "Oh, well, probably 4." And Ulrich turns to you, Bartleby, and says, "Is it possible that the remaining are alive near the blacksmith or not?"
That does seem possible. You're right, Ulrich. You're right. We should head out there and see if we can help any of them while we still have time, without gas talk.
All right. Well, I'm going to peer ahead. I'll meet you guys there.
You're gonna what?
I'll peer ahead. P-E-E-R. Peer ahead. So I'm gonna go ahead of you guys on this one to the blacksmith.
Oh, okay.
I'm going at that point. I'm going to walk out and I'm going to cast a little special something.
Oh, nice.
Little umph. Little hey, what's going on here? Something new. All right. I'm going to cast shapeshift.
Oh,
the shapeshift into a hawk.
A small bird.
Hawks are small.
No, they're not. We're
They're smaller than
talking.
me.
We're talking robin size.
This which is then crushed by a glaive.
Do you want to know? It's interesting because in D&D 5th edition, and correct me if I'm incorrect, Medivac, because I know you play it more than me. I think in Druids, they lose their items when they shape change.
Ooh. I don't know.
I'm sure they don't change everything with
No,
them.
it's just is it just the skin and that's it? I'll have to check.
You do
that.
check up on
I've
it.
never played a druid.
Yeah, I don't know what the.
You change with everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tiny hawk.
And
I want to be a tiny hawk.
So first of all, roll your. First of all, you need to tell me how many shaping points you're using. Obviously, it'll be touch to you, so that'll be absolutely fine. The range won't be a problem, I wouldn't have thought, because it's going to be the duration of it is probably your power in minutes, won't it?
Is it? I don't know. Wasn't a lot of description, to be honest. It would make sense.
Hang on, let me just.
Let me get this shape.
Yes,
shape
so
change
your
feature.
duration is power in minutes. Touch one target. So do you want to change the number of minutes, or are you happy with your
13
minutes?
I'm 13 or 14 power, or 12. Hold on.
Just to let you know, if you put a shaping point into it, you'll be able to double your power in minutes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, my power is 14, so I'm gonna put a shaping point into minutes.
Okay then. Just one?
2.
So that'd take you up to 3 times your power. Okay, so roll your incantation, and then that will be you'll need to deduct the what's all this critical going on today? That's a standard roll. Let me just check what incantation has with criticals, because I think they're different, aren't they? The spell works, but only half the magic point will be used. So your magic points are up to full. So it'll be 1 magic point to cast it, and 1 for the duration. So that'll be 2 magic points that you'll only take 1 point because it's half from your critical roll.
Not bad. Will look cool.
Okay, so you turn into a small bird. Probably.
Would osprey work? Would osprey? Everyone negotiating the cool birds I can turn into right now.
Yeah, sharp-shinned hawk. Sharp-shinned hawk.
Cyrus has to have seen the creature. So yeah, you're going probably a little robin redbreast, and you fly. Where's your plan, Cyrus?
I'm going to head off and see if I can take a look at the.
I want to draw my bow and shoot this bird that's supposed and then pluck it and serve it up.
Sorry,
free food.
Where were you going, Cyrus?
I'm gonna lead ahead to the blacksmith.
Okay then. So Cyrus, you will arrive there first, and you're as you fly towards it, and birds' eyesights are not that good in the dark, so you take a perch somewhere near, and you can see that there's definitely 3 bodies there. 2 appear to be face down and slightly contorted. Another one seems to have propped themselves up against a wall, and is still in their rows, but yeah, you can't see from this distance whether or not they're breathing or not. That's what Bartleby and Ulrich and Hazra, as you leave the tavern, Goshawk shouts after you and said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, somebody was asking for you all. I was coming here and he asked me where was I going. To Hairy Hobgoblin to see Cyrus and his minions, and yes, he said to say hi."
So Asher will slowly turn around, and he will look Goshawk in the eyes, and then he'll take a slow step forward, and at which point he will then raise his spear just towards him, and he will say, "Mr. Goshawk, we take this idiocy from our friend Cyrus because he is our friend. We do not take it from people like you who we do not know."
Oh, well, I've never been so insulted.
Stop talking.
Well,
So, who was this person who you met on the way?
well,
Did he give a name?
No, he was quite, he had quite a pointed nose. He was quite slender. Yes, very sharp features. Well, yes. Apart from that, I have no idea.
Bartleby just walks at this point. He's moving to help people.
And I will say, Mr. Gosford, have more respect for others. It will get you a lot further in life. What you do in your own order is entirely up to you, but when you're out with the local folk, treat them with respect. They put food on your table. Well, some of them do. Good night, sir.
Oh,
Good night.
Well, good night.
With that, I'll turn my back and just follow Bartleby.
And as Ulrich walks past Goshawk, Ulrich hears Goshawk say, "Well, I'm sure that Cyrus, when he meets his minions, will certainly put that one in order. I've never dared be spoken to like that before." And you leave the building, and you make your way to the blacksmith. Cyrus, are you coming out of bird form as you see them arrive, or is there anything that you would like to do while you're in bear form and bird form? Robin,
There's no there's no
Who on Ulrich?
sewer grate that's just like wide open or anything, right?
There does seem to be some kind of access to the sewers, and that's where the bodies appeared to be lying. And there appears to be some kind of not necessarily a trapdoor, but some type of grill in the street. Probably water comes down it, and anything else that's sort of like thrown.
Is it the grill large enough for humans to get into?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because they need to get down to clean and things like that. And so you see all this, and then the party arrive, and Cyrus comes out of Robin form and stands before you. I'm
gonna check the bodies, see if I hear any breathing or whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. Roll your. You won't have a healing skill, I would have thought.
No.
You will have a first aid skill though. First aid is.
It's just a regular skill to have.
Bartleby's going to help as well. His healing skill. Maybe I could use an assistant to help. No.
I don't know anything. Me dum.
Yeah. Roll your healing skill then.
This is where I fail even worse.
I don't know.
Well, you can take minutes of it to reduce it to an easy. Okay, several things that you notice. And Hazra, can you make me please a hard tracking roll?
Certainly, I was going to say I wanted to track the area once these guys have finished doing what they're doing.
Yeah. It will be hard because of the
3 points.
Congratulations.
This is going well tonight.
Can I reverse that now?
Yeah, no.
No.
So I'm going to give you a series of information points, and then we'll break for stop for a break. The boy who's propped up seems to have lost a lot of blood. Again, he seems to have a bash on his head, but also a slice across his guts. The two other boys, well, one's a girl, one's a boy, are dead. They seem to have slice or cut-like wounds on them. One thing that you do get, Hazra, is that how these are organized and lying, it was definitely somebody from inside the tunnel going outside, if that makes sense. So they weren't pursued. It seems that the attack came from
Within.
Yeah, from within. The only other thing that Cyrus, you notice this straight away. There is not an ounce of any spell-like power being used on them. So there's no scorch marks, there's no magical burning or lightning strikes or anything like that. It is completely melee based. And
Okay.
Bartleby, you can see that there's no shock spells being done or anything like that. These initiates that were part of Goshawk's company were definitely killed with a blade. Now, or blades, whether or not that's magical or not, you don't know. Did you want to say something, Hazra?
Yeah, as you say, the ground around here is too hard to read the tracks, but it looks like these people were definitely stabbed to death.
Very much so. And Bartleby, a little bit of your heart goes out to them. You figured that they were all sort of like 7, 8, 9 years old. Goshawk, and maybe the Order of the Phoenix in general, does appear that to think that their initiates are expendable. And we will leave it there and have a quick break. And when we get back, we'll start off from that point when you're just outside the blacksmiths' entrance to the tunnels, the sewers. Just to let you know, guards Bartleby, they have been alerted to the situation, and they will be appearing on scene shortly. Okay, if you're watching the stream, thank you very much for coming along this evening. We're going to have a quick 10-15 minute break just to go get some snacks and some coffee, so please go and stretch your legs, get something to eat and drink, and we'll see you back here in 10. Ba-ba-da. Yeah, okay, then we will go back live. Okay, then. So you currently you are all at the entrance to the sewers. What would you? I think Bartleby and Hazra, you can possibly guess, what the description is for this this friend who was engaging with Goshawk. It does sound rather like Sniffer. And for those of people who are watching for the first time, Sniffer is somebody who, well, he's the leader of the Thieves Guild in Lindo, and he's a thorn in the side of the party. He always seems to be just one step.
He made me move house.
Yeah, that's why I hate him.
It's a nice house. Nice.
So yes. So you can see these bodies have not been killed by magic. Cyrus, you feel that is somehow illogical. It does feel as if they've been sliced and diced by melee weapons, but there's no magical attacks. And just so you both know, both Bartleby and Cyrus, there's no residue of magic around this area. So there's not as if there's been magic and it's slowly fading away or anything like that. It's devoid of any sort of like magic at all.
So it's almost like they were lured into this area and ambushed, in a sense.
Yeah, or they made
One would say a trap, like one would predict.
Or maybe it could be either of those. Just some other possibilities that it could be. Cyrus, roll your strategies and tactics roll.
Ooh, let's see if I can actually do anything today.
Please be 100. You think about it for a while, and minutes, so you can get the easy roll. And you come up with the following scenarios. Either there was somebody waiting here, or you don't think the bodies have been moved. You're quite, but it's almost as if there was somebody waiting for the people who were following. That's what you think is the most likely situation, is that Melanie and the guy in black probably escaped this way. They passed through this way, but there were people on the entrance guarding it. So when the initiates came along, they slice and dice them.
Can I have a brief chat with Bartleby, and I'd like to approach him as he's using his healing skills on this this last remaining initiate. And I said, Bartleby, when you have finished doing your best to heal this child, maybe you would be more adapt to speak to some people here to see if anybody has seen what happened. And I'll look around, and I want to see if there's anybody looking through, curtain twitching as such. Well, because somebody must have seen something here.
Yeah. So the guards are on their way, and they will be arriving. A platoon of 6 is normally sent out for instances like this. Bartleby, do you have a streetwise skill?
I do have streetwise.
Yeah, roll that.
How wise are you on the street?
A little bit.
Yeah. So you get the following information or piece of information from people around about. Nobody has seen anybody that describes as Melanie or the guy in black. They do talk about shadows lurking in the darkness. Somebody does know that the apprentice, the initiates, or the young boys, as she refers to them, arrived at this site, and one of them went to set off, and the rest was still here, but there was some figures clad out in black that came out of the sewers and without mercy dispatched them. She does say that she noticed that one of them went away, but he had suffered an injury.
Bartleby Hazra, these descriptions of these men in black, do they ring any bells?
Maybe they're members of the Thieves Guild. Maybe they're not. You know who nobody seemed concerned about. The leader mage who got a shot at him. Your friend didn't really describe what a shot exactly is, whether it's a crossbow bolt or a blast of fire. Maybe you and your guild have special lingo there, but your boss also didn't mention talking to the guards. And normally when something's stolen, you would talk to the guards unless you were doing something suspicious.
True, but also my boss is an idiot, as you can tell. So can't
I
really,
think he
I mean,
pretends a little bit.
You think? It's possible.
He's not even going to pay you for this. I mean, at the
Well,
very least, if we recover your book, you should be taking all of the credit for it within your order.
but I think that negotiation can come up later. I think right
That's
now,
true.
I think it's not just a matter of the Order of the Phoenix that the book's missing. I'm pretty confident the book is missing, and it's going to affect more than what we think. Especially if Melanie seems to have some sort of
vendetta.
Well, not only a vendetta against the Order, but also she seems to have allies that are no part of that. They have. Why would they be interested in this as well?
Well,
They're obviously not magic users.
I mean, if my history is correct, there have been a lot of turbulence in the orders recently, the sorcery orders.
Mm.
I believe we heard a while back that there were dealings of trying to team up take out other orders. Just strikes me as kind of odd that this lowly bluebird just jumped over to another order, rose through the ranks, and now they managed to get their hands on this book.
Doesn't make me odd. It just makes it predictable.
It just seems like somebody's trying to destabilize one of the orders so that the others can jump in. Maybe the Order of the Dragon, Order of the Lich.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I'm thinking with the Black Clad Mans, maybe the Order of the Lich.
Yes,
Sorry, what, Hazard?
Was there talk of your order teaming up with or joining ranks with the Black Order?
Correct.
Well, if she's a rogue wizard, she doesn't care what order she's in. She's there for power at this point.
But to join up with perhaps Thieves Guild is just a little step too far, perhaps.
I'd like to hear her side of this. To be honest, I don't really trust your boss, Cyrus. And
I really trust her.
I mean,
but...
I'd actually we should be talking to the mage that was attacked as well before we go running into a tunnel. Didn't you just say that this looks like somebody was waiting for these initiates?
Oh, no,
probably somebody waiting down that tunnel too.
This was an ambush, and that's why I'm afraid to go down the tunnel, because not only are we going to get lost down there because we have no idea which direction they gone.
And did that man not say to your mentor as he met him in the street, give them my regards or say hello from or words to that?
No.
When he said he was coming here?
Possibly.
It's almost like a mocking acknowledgement that he knows where we are and he knows what we will do next to charge headlong into this.
So we all think it's a bad plan to charge head on into the sewer, right?
Especially for free.
The money, to be fair, once the children were harmed, I don't think the money to me would really matter. But I'm very loath to help your mentor, but because you are our friend, Cyrus, I will do this for you. But we must think about it sensibly. You put your tactician brain on, because your order has led many battles in the past, and you have defeated many people and led many armies through many kingdoms using your skills, not only your magic skills, which are very huge, but also your knowledge of battle and tactics and how people think.
You're right. I'm getting personally emotional into this.
You are.
Taking a second. Here's my battle plan. One, we need to use our resources to our advantage. We need to be, instead of running after them, we need to ambush them. And the best way to do that is to plan ahead. Now, in this case, who do we know that has some sort of knowledge of the sewer system, but also possibly the underground system as a whole? Our friend across the way from the Hairy Hobgoblin,
Our friend Christoph.
Chris.
I think that should be Bartleby saying, my friend Christoph.
Yeah, my friend.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Bartleby
he's
from
our
Christoph.
friend because he's only been nice to us. I mean,
But
yeah,
at
we
the
had a
same
weird
time,
dream, but
I'm walking into a situation now that she has the upper hand with all these knowledge of these spells. I'm walking a situation that I don't think I'll be a match at this second because she stole her way that way. So I'm gonna have to plan ahead, and even though he's an old fart, I think what was his name? Is it like Sebastian or something, or the guy with all the
Sylvester.
Sylvester, yes, I was going to suggest Sylvester.
yeah.
Hmm.
I'm thinking
we've asked him for
I'll-
sewer maps before. He didn't see. Yeah, I think he laughed at us every time.
it's not sewer maps as I'm going for. I'm going for something that's going to be give me the upper hand versus the most powerful spells the Order of Phoenix has ability to perform.
But this man is a cartographer. He
So
draws
he's a
maps.
very knowledgeable person, and I need someone who's going to approach this from outside the box.
I think Mr. Bartleby had the start of our area investigation by speaking to the mage that was attacked,
All right.
and then perhaps we can go from there. But I think charging headlong tonight, especially after we have had a few drinks already, into the sewer would be futile.
All right.
I
So
mean,
first stop.
Ulrich, what you're very quiet, and I know you have not been with us that long, but what are your thoughts on this? Do you have an impartial opinion? You have no links to anybody here.
Master Hazra, I'm always quiet because I'm run by the GM. So
A weird god to worship. Some of us prefer to talk about real gods like Amriel.
Bartleby, the guards have arrived. Can you just roll your Friends of the Guard passion, please? Oh,
Okay, is he your friend?
yeah.
Oh, he is.
They sort of like walk up and they go, "Oh, Master Bartleby, what you doing here then?"
Well, just trying to run after some books that are really important to this city, I guess. And they'll just stare at Cyrus.
Important books? Eee. They look at the dead bodies. These be but children down here. I don't know why I'm going into Farmer
Yeah, Dick
Brown.
Van Dyke. That's what Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chimney. All right. Sorry, I don't mean to get the TM
Bartleby, do you
from
know
Disney
what,
Corpse.
Mr. Bartleby? Do you know what happened here?
Well, I suppose you've already been notified about the incident with the Order of the Phoenix.
Well, have they broken some windows again?
I think Cyrus did break a window, but it was everybody there. That's not the crime here. I believe there was a book stolen earlier today from the Order of the Phoenix, and these lads apparently were sent after to retrieve this extremely important book.
Wow, young lad sent to recapture a book. Seems a bit nasty to me, if you ask me, Mr. Bartleby. We have
I agree.
We have no jurisdiction within the Order's houses, on any sorcerer's houses, whether or not it be blue or red, here in Lindo.
Wait, really? They can't call the guards to help with incidences?
Yeah, so out of character, any incident that happens within the doorway or within the bounds of the Order's house is purely the responsibility of the Order.
So it's kind of like an embassy.
Yeah, so it's just like somebody might go into your church and seek sanctuary. Bartleby, the Orders are their own law within their Order house. They very rarely even call in guards or anything like that. They're quite unique in their, well, small dictatorships within their order.
That's a little terrifying. I
keep
guess
saying
it's
the
nice to
little-
be in an order that specializes in healing rather than burning.
Yeah. And I think I can imagine a whole load of discussions within the order of the house of the Order of the Phoenix to be very fiery and intense.
So if somebody stole from like if a apprentice stole from, say, Cyrus, another apprentice, they wouldn't call in the guards. They would just bring in the council, and the council would punish
Well,
or do whatever punishment.
I don't think the council deals with, well, lower level things like that. I think the order itself could execute punishment. Let's face it, Mr. Bartleby, they are a bit weird with the rands, aren't they?
I gotta admit, I kind of like you guys' style a little bit better.
Oh,
bit
Mr.
more justice there.
Bartleby, Mr. Bartleby, thank you. He sort of like punches you on the shoulder.
Ow.
Just roll
Jason,
your
watch your heel.
just roll your athletics.
Oh, I was hoping endurance.
You sort of like, he goes, oh, Mr. Bartleby hits you. You sort of like stumble back and he says, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Bartleby. Sorry, I don't know my own strength, I don't.
I'll play it off with a laugh as best I can.
It's like,
Yeah.
So
we better get rid of these bodies.
Unfortunately, it seems like the thing to do.
Why?
you got some last rites you want to give these bodies? Before we
Well, if you'd been paying attention, Cyrus, that's what I've been doing.
Oh, okay.
And
Well,
the guards sort of like look down the open grate into the sewers and says, Mr. Bartleby, is there something down there that we should know about?
that's where the attackers left.
That's where we think the attackers went, but that's based on Cyrus's extensive knowledge of tactics and combat.
It was also the surviving child told us this too.
There is a child that survived this.
Yes. He's been taken care of. We'll hope that he recovers quickly.
Well, maybe we should talk to him and find out exactly what happened here.
Maybe wait till the morning.
We found him at the Harry Hobgoblin, or more of he found us. I did as I should have, and I healed his wound, but he's still recovering.
Oh,
if
Mr.
you go there in the
Bartleby,
morning,
that's so kind of you. You're such a nice gent, you are. Healing the
Thank you.
poor.
it's
Taking
what
money away from the poor.
it's what Amriel wants us to do.
I must say, I'm not too keen on these order guys, but, you know, keep that between you and me.
All right, to the point. Hazra, I think you should come with me because we don't like the guy across the street from the Harry Hobgoblin. You and Ulrich Bartleby, you deal with your friend and see if maybe you can get some information on how best to approach the underground sewer system, or if he's heard anything.
Okay, so it's about 30 minutes before midnight now. Is this something that you want to do tonight, or do you want to leave it till tomorrow? What's going to be your plan?
I think this portion
can
we
we-
can do tonight.
Can I just say that as we're talking and planning this, we're trying to keep it as quiet as possible, or I will nudge and say, but perhaps maybe we should talk about this either away from here, because there may be ears listening to what we are doing.
I agree.
Gulliver used to be able to do that, but you wouldn't even see him listening.
No, we like.
That's because he had big ears.
Yeah, and he was part of the Order of the Kraken, anyways. Just like Mel. What else could he do as just a mere apprentice in the Order of the Kraken?
He could look at things from miles away.
But wasn't Christoph, his business stayed up rather late, and I vaguely recall we couldn't get a morning meeting with him because he was an afternoon and night kind of person.
Yeah, definitely late afternoon, evening, and night.
So I think we should just take a walk by the Hairy Hobgoblin and Christoph's, what was it, the boiling boar?
I would like to, if I agree with Bartleby here, Cyrus, because I don't think this mage you want to speak to would look too fondly on us during this time of night. But while you go to the sniffling boar, I will go to the Hairy Hobgoblin, and I would like to keep an eye on the child that is there to make sure he is not harmed or is well looked after. So it's for my peace of mind.
So Ulrich and Bartleby are going to Christoph's. Hazra, you're going back to Hairy Goblin to look after the kid.
Child, yeah.
And Cyrus, are you going back to your order to see if you can find out what's actually happened? Or are you doing something different?
I'm going to attempt to. I'm going to attempt to.
Okay. So let's start off with you, Hazra. You get back to the inn, Hairy Hobgoblin, and Goshawk and his initiate is still there, and he sort of like sees you coming in, and he sort of like takes.
No, sorry. I'd like just to charge in, maybe cut myself blood along my throat. Oh, they're all dead. No, I'm not.
Anyway, when you come in, he almost like visibly flinches almost after your reprimand earlier on. Are you just going straight up the stairs?
Yes, I will flick him a look just to acknowledge that I've seen him.
Yeah.
But then I will go up. I'm assuming that he's put the child into the room where we slept.
The injured child.
Yes.
It's in your room. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I will head straight up there.
Yeah. So just as you go, make a hard perception roll for me, please. Yeah. As you give him a look and then proceed up the stairs, and just as you go up the stairs, you just hear Goshawk saying, "Now you really need to be aware and careful." He's talking to his initiate about people like that. Okay, they can be quite stubborn to accept that they are of a lower class to us. The boy is sleeping. He's still unconscious. He seems to have a bit of a temperature, but apart from that, he looks like he's generally healing. But you've seen wounds like this out in the steppes, Hazra. You know it's going to take some time for him to heal and even become conscious. Across this, is there anything else you would like to do, Hazra? Yeah.
I'd just like to make sure the door's secure and the window into the room is also secure.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a position in a very shadowy corner.
Yeah, so you go in and you go across and you close the shutters to the window. And as you close the shutters, you see Ulrich and Bartleby across the street walking into Christoph's place. And the door people, Bartleby, as you approach, sort of like say, "Evening, Mr. Bartleby. Who be your friend here?"
This is my good friend Ulrich. Ulrich, these are my friends, the door guards.
Bartleby, friends of everyone. And Ulrich sort of like gives a nod, and despite various complaints from people in the queue, the door people, let you in because they've got strict instructions from Christoph to invite you in. And just as you enter, somebody comes up to you and says, "Can a woman? Can I help you? Would you like a table for two?"
Oh, no. I'm here actually to see if I can get an audience with Christoph. Is he in tonight?
Yes, he's in his office. If you'd just like to stay down here, I will go and see. And
Thanks. That's
she walks away, not necessarily looking at you, Bartleby, but giving Ulrich the once over, and a small smile comes onto her face, and maybe even a slight blush in her cheeks. And she goes upstairs, you know where Christoph's office is, and she knocks and goes in, and within sort of like 30 seconds she comes out and comes down the stairs and says, "Oh, Christoph will be delighted to see you both. Please just go up, knock, and then he will call you in."
Thank you very much. I appreciate your swiftness with this.
And you go up the stairs, knock, and Christoph sort of like shouts in his noise, "Enter!" And you open the door that wasn't locked, and he comes out from behind his desk, if you remember that he has there, and he comes over to you and sort of like grabs your hand, Bartleby, and says, "My good man, Bartleby, it's lovely to see you."
It's great to see you again too, Christoph. This is my friend Ulrich, not Hengist. Hengist did not go through a sudden change.
I did hear some rather worrying things about Hengist's transactions in the noble quarters. Bartleby, roll me an insight.
I'm just happy to be here.
Are you changing it? Would be a nice roll round the other way, that one.
It would be. And I think I'm going to do that because I just want to know how my friend thinks, I guess. Take your fortune point, luck point.
Yeah. So you, Christoph shakes his hands with you and then goes to shake it with Ulrich. And Ulrich sort of like looks up, and they meet eye to eye. And you see something change in Christoph's face. His demeanor changes somewhat. And there's a brief look of shock as his eyes meet Ulrich's, and he withdraws his hand, and then, not to sort of like skip a beat or anything like that, it's just momentarily there. And then he sort of like says, do come and sit down. How may I help you, Mr. Bartleby?"
Well, I'm here, unfortunately, not just to hang out and enjoy the many delights of your wonderful inn here. We've ran into a situation with the Order of the Phoenix. And admittedly, I don't know as much about them. I was interested if you had.
I have very little doings with them. Sometimes that feisty girl comes into my place. I forget her name. Melanie. Yes. She's been in with her group of cronies. Yes. She seems rather, shall we say, pert, very keen and proud, and not too sure whether or not there's more power in that girl than even the mage or the archmage of that order.
Well, it's funny that you mention her, because that is sort of one of the people that has created a wave over at the Order of the Phoenix. I guess she attacked the mage and the head mage there and took his book.
Oh, the book.
The book, yeah. I guess it's important to them. I guess they don't have just a statue of their goddess that whispers secrets, but
yes, I can believe that it's all about secrets, isn't it? And it's important that we keep secrets and not let them go wider. Don't you agree, Mr. Bartleby?
Yes, I agree. It is best not to let dangerous spells get into the wrong hands. I'm sorry, they've rubbed me very wrong today. And It's hard to think clearly sometimes, but through Amriel, anything is possible.
Ulrich just speaks up for a moment then and says, I agree with Christoph. It is important that secrets remain secrets.
Yes, I think we are in agreement on that. We were led to believe, based on some murders that happened.
Murders?
Well, yes, there have been a number of initiates of the Order of the Phoenix, not of my order, that were killed trying to pursue Melanie and her cronies.
Oh, I hope
they went to the sewer.
Oh, no, not the sewer. Ghastly place. Yeah. Talk about too many floating objects in one room or one tunnel.
And we would know, considering we've gone down to the connection the sewers has with your in here.
Well, yes. That's long ago been sealed up, as you were aware. Yes, it's rather... what did you need to know about the sewers?
Well, I guess knowing that you're safe and sealed up is good to know. It's always worrisome to have any backdoor entrance into your sanctuary here. I guess I was looking to see what you might know then about Melanie and her cronies, the people she's been hanging out with. We got word that there's some dark-robed figures that were with her that may have done the stabbing. Those poor children.
Dark-robed?
Does that not sound correct for who she's with here?
Are you suggesting that the Dark Order has a presence in Lindo, Mr. Bartleby?
The Dark Order?
Oh, dressed in black. Order of something or other that is quite miserable and dark, I expect.
Isn't that the Order of the Lich?
Oh, yes, that's it, yes. I'm not aware that they had a presence here in Lindo.
I thought all of the orders had a major presence here.
Oh, no. Not all orders are represented in all towns. The most common one would be the Blue Order, mainly due to their navigation and, well, you know what I mean, spells.
Yes, that does make sense, huh? I guess I didn't know that the Order of the Lich didn't have a place here. I've only seen a few of them, but eyewitness reports.
They pass by now and again.
That makes sense. Eyewitness reports just described people with her as dark-robed figures. Could have been somebody describing a common thug.
Quite possibly. Would you like some wine?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Ulrich says,
what can you tell me about the... Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
Ulrich says, no, thank you. Yes, well, Mr. Bartleby, can I tell you about the wine? It's a fine claret, very vintage, has been in my family cellar for some time. I hope you enjoy it. Trickle, trickle, trickle. To your great health, Mr. Bartleby.
And to yours as well.
You know, I thought I'd lost connection then. And there was such a gap. I literally thought, what? Where is it? Yeah, carry on.
Is there anything you can tell me about our friends? They're not the dark robe figures. Oh, this is a very nice one.
Yes,
Are they?
Without seeing them, I am afraid, Mr. Bartleby, my eyes are, they haven't detected anything unless I see them. Maybe if I see them, I will be able to tell you who or what they are.
Gotcha. Well, we work pretty quickly over here, so it's unlikely that they should be making a problem. But if you do see them, or her, I should say, request that you let me know.
Of course. I would never keep secrets from you, Mr. Bartleby.
Appreciate it. It's always good to know.
we
I have
are
a peer
comrades.
over across the street.
We are comrades, are we not?
We are indeed.
And comrades keep secrets between them. Am I not right?
That is correct.
That is, yeah. Well, I am so sorry that I cannot be of much help for you and your friend. But if I have any information about them, then I will pass them on to you.
You've been very informative tonight. But yes, it's late. I appreciate your assistance.
Oh, the night is still young, Mr. Bartleby. Go downstairs, have a drink, have a nibble. And Christos takes you down and socializes with you for a few minutes. Well, meanwhile, Cyrus heads back to his order. And the first thing you notice, Cyrus, as you approach, is that there's two robed mages, sorcerers, at the doorways. And they sort of like, you walk up there, I'm assuming, and they see you and sort of like say, it's best to be in, Mr. Cyrus, tonight.
You can request the unmute. You can request the unmute. Do it quick. Do it quick.
Bummer.
I'm going to do it for Hazra. I'm going to do it for Hazra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's sort of like, you walk in and the order seems to be frantic. There's lots of small groups of individuals talking to each other in hushed huddles. You get the feeling that there's a sense of almost like a power struggle. Everybody sort of like split off into their little groups, and they seem to be talking and sending people here, there, and the younger initiate orders of the orders are sort of like running away around and bringing back sheets of parchment or talking about what's happened. And initially you're quite amazed that the order is not working together, but then you remember,
how
what
things work.
Yeah, and your order is all about power and promotion, and you definitely get the feeling that everybody is probably doing what Goshawk tried to do or is doing. And what's your plan of action, Cyrus?
I'm assuming when I walk in, I don't see the Archmage.
No. He actually, or she lives in the upper area of the order. You can go up and try to seek an audience with her if you desire.
Yeah, I will. Actually, I have another route of going. Can I turn into a pigeon?
A pigeon?
Yeah.
That's a medium-sized bird.
Oh, is it? Okay. No,
Combat pigeon.
Combat.
Combat pigeon. Just clad in like
Yeah.
armor. The reason why I just want to dress as an or shape change to an inconspicuous bird rather than something too crazy.
Yeah.
Just so that I might be able to make it past the initial guards and whatnot.
Yeah. So you turn into a suitably small bird and start to flick your way from area to area, getting closer to the the mage's room. It's not an archmage, it's a mage's room. And when you arrive there, you notice that the doors are open, and there's no sort of like security on it or anything. And inside you can hear the conversation of the mage, and she seems to be talking to a group of hirelings, or probably adepts,
Okay.
one level up from you.
Mhm.
And she's busy talking to them, and you sort of like,
Can I just want to listen actually to them, and I just want to see if she gives information that Goshawk hasn't given me, maybe of what happened yet.
okay,
Um,
yeah,
I don't necessarily want to reveal myself yet, because the odds are if she sees me, she's like, "You don't need to be here. You're too
yeah.
low in the order for me
So
to talk to."
roll your perception.
Come on, baby, give me some perception. Oh, I'm sorry, babies. Come on. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, you gain some idea about what they're talking about. They seem to be discussing individual mentors and what they think each mentor might be doing in order to either move into Melanie's position within the order, or to capture her and bring them back. And they seem to be talking. They're not whispering or anything like that. It's just in a normal voice. And you do hear one of them has. You hear somebody say shortly after the event, he and his sort of like political party sent people to the docks to find out if any information or anything could come from there. You found that another they do talk at one point about, somebody sort of like says, so what about Goshawk? What do we think of him and his group of sorcerers? And somebody says, I don't think he'll be sensible at all. He seems to be a loose cannon and, well, shall we say, lacking in any natural intelligence or magical prowess. I think we can cross him and his cronies off the list. And somebody sort of like says, I'm much more interested in Marmaduke. He has some very powerful sorcerers in his group. He will probably be aiming to track her down and, yes, most likely return the book to us. And somebody says, do you think anybody would keep the book from it? Oh, no, they would definitely bring it back. They're seeking power within the order, not a book. Let's face it, what power does the book have apart from spells we already know? And somebody says, oh, it is purely ceremonial. We don't need that. And the mage says, she says, I am somewhat surprised by the way she tried to take it. At least she didn't use all the power she possesses. That the man with his blades was much more of a threat. Luckily, I managed to get my damage resistance up in time before he could strike a perfect blow. And they sort of like go on and talk about the different groups of people trying to gain political prowess in the group now, who would take over from Melanie's position. And they don't seem to be worried about that takeover. They seem to be thinking, who do they want in that position? Yeah.
So all they're doing is discussing the politics of the order rather than what's happened to the order or what this might mean.
Yeah, they seem to be insinuating that they don't need to do anything because the people lower down will try to fix the problem, because if they fix the problem, the people higher up get the book back, and those people have the power of the feeling of that they've contributed, which would definitely, as Goshawk mentioned earlier, would definitely mean.
Yeah, they get a slight promotion. Well,
Well,
that's
yes.
it. That's
Well,
payment.
it's probably be quite a significant promotion, depending which one, which group of individuals actually got it back. And it wouldn't be there. So it's a bit like it wouldn't necessarily be the initiates that would get the promotion. It would be the
Person higher up.
yeah, and the people who actually got it back.
Yeah. Okay. But if that's kind of just like they're not in this portion of the time, they're not leaving the mages like vicinity. They're going to keep talking and bickering because I don't want to reveal myself in front of them.
In this room, I mean, throughout the other place, people lower down the building, people are leaving and going out. You hear snippets of conversations like, go and talk to our contacts in the slums, or go to the Noble Hill, see what Cyril has to say about this. And there seems to be a lot of calling in favors to try to get information.
So yeah, this is, I think the issue I'm running into is that if I reveal myself, they're just going to shoo me away and say, go look for the book, you lazy bastard. But if I were able to talk to the mage personally by myself, I might get a little bit of something, but if that's not going to reveal itself that moment.
At the moment, she's in council with her.
Yeah. And
her
I'm just going to
subordinates.
leave at that point. Yeah. I don't want to give them the ability to mock me.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna.
They would not mock you, Cyrus.
I'm just gonna fly out a window from this point,
Yeah.
and then see if what Bartleby and the rest have figured out.
So just for sake of easiness, we'll say that everybody meets back in Hazra's room at Hairy Hobgoblin. And
are they going to enter the room? Are they going to knock and say the name? Or are they going to come in straight away?
It depends who gets there first.
Yeah.
Bartleby is more likely to knock and come in. Cyrus is probably going to be later.
I'm a bit more polite.
Cyrus will be coming in later because he's gone across town and coming back. Bartleby and Ulrich was just across the road. Bartleby's a polite person. He would knock.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Hazra is going to be very tightly wound at the moment.
Yeah.
Because he's now got in his head that Sniffer's out there and he wants to protect this kid, and he knows how vengeful he can be.
He is.
So if somebody just walks in the room, he will fly at the door.
Okay, so Bartleby is likely to knock and go in, and the rest of the party meet up there and exchange information. So what I need from you is next steps. First step is, are you going to now rest for the rest of the night? That's the first thing I need to know.
Yeah, I will, but long as there's watches put in the room.
Okay, then that seems viable. So the night passes, and you probably discuss what you're going to do the next day before you go to sleep. So what's going to be the next step in the morning? What is the party going to be doing?
Mr. Bartleby and Cyrus, what have you discovered, or how do you think we should progress with this? And is the boy getting better? He seems very awfully hot.
Well, he'll need quite a bit of time to recover. And I'm just still in shock that there is no building dedicated to the Order of the Lich. I honestly thought there was, and that makes them a little bit more terrifying to me.
Well, if it is Order of the Lich, keep in mind Order of the Lich would at least use some spells. I don't think there'll be ones that would just attack with blades, right?
Yeah, Black Road mages are they do have a whole load of unnatural spells, so they can raise the dead, but they can do rack the same as all the orders can.
Their rack just looks different.
Yeah, it just looks like black smoky tendrils coming out. But Cyrus is right. No mage. I mean, we remember. Cyrus is quite unique with his combat. But remember people like Gulliver. You know, they're not mages. Are not people who prefer hand-to-hand combat. You know, they're much more spell orientated. So it's quite Cyrus knows this, that those knife wounds were probably not done by a mage, when a mage can just blast them all. She could, you can do rack, which Cyrus knows, so Melanie knows it as well, on multiple people. So she
and were the knife strikes very precise as well?
Very precise.
To vitals.
Yeah, and very clean as well.
This is what I'm thinking. Like, I know personally, Hazra, that you are associated with something that we shouldn't know about, and I understand that.
What?
He's been talked to in front of us and everything, and he goes off.
I didn't know about this. I thought he just liked to take nature walks.
I go to my hut.
I don't know exactly who it is, but it's always a big secret. And Hazard.
You talking about his cow? I feel like you're talking about the times he goes back to.
I have to feed Brutus.
Yeah, they're not like a. And Brutus isn't going to tell us anything, Cyrus.
All right.
God, crazy.
All right. Well, I'll just.
Have you been drinking, Cyrus? You know, we had to talk about this, and you've been doing very well. So yes.
Sometimes you might need to take a break. Yeah. Okay. So the second thing, I don't think this is a magical order, or that she has aligned herself with. You know, could the buyer or whoever is interested might want the book, could be magical, but I think she's associated with herself with either a thieves guild or some sort of, you know, mercenary guild that are more reliant on melee combat than they are magic. I think so. I think we should start looking at that portion.
What exactly? Oh, go for it.
As you can say, if she had allied herself with somebody like this, then it is to either better herself, to advance herself higher, or for them to advance themselves higher and using her as a pawn. But having seen Melanie and knowing from how she has dealt with you in the past, Cyrus, no offense, my friend, but she seems more than capable of taking care of herself. So I think this is more of a partnership than a working for.
A partnership that she will find benefit from. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
But the partnership, nonetheless, who she's partnered with isn't the Black Order. I wouldn't imagine. It would be something more melee based, assassins of some sort.
Is the Black Order like that tower we went to in the sea?
That was the Order of the Lich.
That horrible man who said to Gulliver, "I will be your mentor."
Yeah, and he wanted to. Gulliver.
Here's the thing: we would have noticed a lot more death by magic rather than blades.
This is true. Whatever happened there was very mundane. It was not.
Yeah, it didn't seem to have magical needs, even though we knew at least one person there was magical. So here's my thought process. I never met this person named Skeever that you guys keep mentioning.
Sniffer. He had a funny nose, and he was always sniffling and taunting people.
We need to figure out if he's involved, him and his little branch of crap. I think he might be a way of figuring out something, because I believe that unless it's some other order that's very melee and very good at assassinating people with, you know, very precise cuts, I'm confident he's involved in some sort of way.
I mean, I agree.
Can Cyrus and Bartleby and Ulrich as well, that I will do for. Can you please make perception rolls?
Oh, I've perceived something.
You double rolled.
I don't know how I double rolled.
Tisk
I might have
tisk.
pressed it twice. But I'll go from the first one.
Is that the highest one?
Yeah, the first one. The first one I rolled. It would be weird if it was the second run that I was trying to go for.
Right, hang on a minute. I just need to do Ulrich's. Right, I'm fine. Bartleby hears nothing. Cyrus hears something, and Ulrich hears something. And Hazra, you hear something because of your alert status. Could you all please roll for me? Don't forget to click on your tokens.
Oh, initiative.
Yeah, just let me clear my tracker.
I thought it's because I broke wind and they were like,
Yeah, that's it. They'll go poo.
"Phew."
Right, yeah. Click on your characters. Roll some initiative.
Ooh. Cyrus is pumped up.
On me, old back of the bus. Oh,
The
that could be a
fuck-
good
oh,
place
okay,
to be,
he's
though.
assassin.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Let me just roll some initiative here. Okay then. Hazel, what's your initiative bonus?
11.
Sorry, 11.
11.
You should have used your unmute thing.
So you will go there. Cyrus heard something, so you're fine. Bartleby, you didn't hear anything. So due to surprise, you get 10 deducted from your initiative. Just so you know, you can't do anything until your initiative turn arrives. Okay, and if I manage to attack you first, I gain a bonus special effect because you are. So when I attack you, or if I attack you, even if I get a special via the dice roll, I get another special because you are surprised. And so what happens, Hazra? Everybody sat quietly talking away, and Hazra, you probably hear it first. The faintest creak of a floorboard outside, and just as you do that and reach for either your spear or your scimitar, it's up to you what you have. The door slowly starts to unlatch, and that's what Ulrich and Cyrus hear. And the door then pushes open, and stood in the doorway appears to be a completely black-clad figure. And so that's when we jump into the initiative order. So Cyrus, you're up first. What would you like to do?
Do I have my glaive in my hand, or I have to get it?
Well, even if you want to, are you saying do you have it in the room, or are you saying do you have it readied? whether or not you have it in the rule or not is up to you.
I would imagine I don't have it with me. Like, but I think I have to get it readied. So I'm going to grab my blade and have it ready.
Okay then. Ulrika go next, therefore, and he sees this almost like assassin-like character in the doorway, and he immediately uses one of his actions, and he casts his normal Soul Eater. Cool, yeah. And he casts a spell on his. And then Hazra, you're up.
Motherfucker.
Oh, I was quickly trying to do my unmute then, but
I'll use a free action to shout or to say harshly, beware, and then I will throw my spear at the figure in the door.
okay, yeah, nice. Off you go.
Oh, spear.
Nice.
Oh.
So the assassin's not. He's going to try to evade out the way. So, what?
Does he get a -9 from the combat on his evade, or is that just on parry?
It's only on. It's a good question, actually.
I think you answered this last time, but I'm just never having that power level, so I just.
What did we say? I have a funniest feeling.
You said I always hit.
I think I'm going to look into it. Let's not.
Just go as normal. You're fine.
Yeah. So he fails. Oh, you can't see that, can't you?
No.
So he got 82 out of 56. But I wonder why it's not coming up on your screen there. He got 82 out of 56, but I'm going to use one of your points of luck and reverse it, so it'd be 28. So he will dive out of the way, and he's now prone on the ground. And
it's an evade because he's not parrying, so it doesn't have any effect on my combat skill, doesn't it?
Yeah. So he's literally just jumping out the way. I will check it though, because it's a good point. So he's now prone, and it's his turn. So he will.
Sorry, there'll be a spear in the wall.
Yeah. Well, he's probably. Oh, I wonder if there's a window opposite the doorway.
Goes on for like half a mile.
You sort of like chuck it over. The window's open. It flies over, and Christoph at that moment opens his window
right in the heart, and he bursts into dust.
Yeah. So it's sort of like a.
Anyways.
Wobbling in the thing. My assassin gets up on his action, and then
wait. I have a question, really quick.
Yeah.
What
you say for captain?
Does it make a difference that Hazra's roll was a critical versus the non-critical evade, or am I thinking backwards?
It depends whether or not the evade is a differential roll or just an opposed roll. Let me just check.
I feel like we never use evade in this group since nobody likes falling over.
No.
Because I use acrobatics for my evade.
Well, yeah, nobody uses evade in our crew.
I'm fancy.
I don't use evade because it means you're on your backside.
Yeah.
Actually, I used evade a bunch when that tentacle monster in the puddle at the Batrachian place was trying to kill me. And Hazra saved me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was sitting there rolling with my evade 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scrambling.
So, yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's an opposed roll versus the skill the attacker's skill versus the invader's skills. This could be anything from drive. So yeah. So therefore, because you've got a crit, you will outdo me. So I need from you, Hazra, I would need special hit location damage.
And 2 crits or just 1 crit?
You can use, it's completely up to you. You can either use 2 crits or 1 crit or 2 normals, completely up to you.
Wouldn't you using a luck point though make it so he only gets 1 special, or
Oh, good point. Yes, because you reversed it.
because you still succeeded, but you didn't succeed at beating the critical? Or maybe I've got this mixed up.
Let's go with the 1.
Okay, go. It's an opposed roll. It's not a differential roll. But it does say if the winner of the opposed roll achieves 1 or more levels of success over his opponent, he may select a suitable special effects as per normal combat. So I reversed mine to make my succeed, but Hazra, you're still got a crit, so you will get 1.
Which is fine, exactly. So what I would like to do is I'd like to do impale. Oh, so you want hit location first? No, special hit location.
Special,
impale.
yeah. So impale, yeah.
And then my location will be a 7, which I'm hoping is a leg.
It's abdomen on mine.
Oh, it's abdomen. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because my thing was that you should get me in the leg. Sorry. And damage will be spear thrown. Oh, yeah, you want 2 for the
I want 2,
impale. I'm going to go for the high number 4, please.
Okay, yeah. So you.
Sorry. Hang on. Ignore that. Take 1 point off that. It'll be 3 and 2.
That doesn't seem to be a lot of damage.
It's not. It's 1d8 plus. It's 1d8, so there's no +1 on it. No, I did the 1d8.
Yeah. So it's going to be 3 points of damage. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Really badly rolled dice there.
Yeah. Okay then. So he gets pinned with the spear, so he will be at hard for his rolls, won't he? So therefore, on the assassin's roll, he's not on the ground, or is he still on the ground? He must be.
No.
My thought is he's tried to dive out the way, and I've stuck him.
Yeah. So because his evade was successful. If the defender wins, damage is completely avoided. Whatever the results, the evasion gambit leaves the defender prone, usually requiring him to... so on the 14, he will then get up with this spear stuck in him. And Bartleby, you're on 2.
Why are we on 2?
Finally coming round to what's happening.
Mid-sentence just coming... Oh, wait. Let's see.
Wake up, bud. Wake up.
My head is in the clouds staring at the moon.
Yes, Jesus.
I would assume that Cyrus is pretty close to me, within prayer distance or hand prayer.
You could be on both sides of the bed. That's up to you. I don't mind.
I think I want to pray that his blade actually functions.
Okay.
And give him a nice Amriel blade sharp.
Ooh.
Yeah. Fantastic. Knock off your magic points, and we go straight up to the top of the round. And
I like to imagine this. I like to imagine that Bartleby is like laying on the bed talking, and then he just like slaps my butt.
I don't think he was laying on the bed with the young lad.
Oh, okay. He's like, good job. Go at him, buddy. Go at him.
Cyrus, you are up.
All right. Cyrus,
you can
with his new sharp blade.
Yeah, you can go up and attack if you wish.
I am going up for the attack.
Okay then.
I'm going to charge right at him.
Nice.
and then I'm gonna beat his ass.
Do your
Alright, here we
weapon
go.
attack.
And here
Focus on butts
I-
here with you.
Oh baby.
Mm.
You gonna try to block that, my man?
He is. It will be a hard because he's got the spear sticking out of him, but he will use his skill called "We Will Kill You."
Is that a professional skill?
Hang on. Right.
They think
I just realised it said on his character sheet you have a character up at the top. You have the option whisper rolls to GM, and that's what he was doing. Just to let you know, because he actually got his "We Will Kill You" is 43. That's his skill level, and he actually got a 6. So if it was easy, because an easy is your skill and half again, he would have critted on his roll.
Because it's hard.
But we're fine at the moment. He's got daggers, so I will take. So you won't have a special. So it's 6 out of 29 for hard. So I still made it. So you won't get a special, but you have hit location and damage, and then I'll take half of that damage.
All right, let me do this right quick.
So hit location first.
Bam. Rolling. Okay,
Nice. 15. Whack him in his arm.
that's right. I'm gonna beat that arm. What was the same arm that?
Now remember your blade sharp's on, so it'd be 1 level above what your normal one is.
Yeah, that's it.
5. That goes into his arm. I take half of that, which would be 3. That knocks him down to 0. So I have to make an endurance check to stay up. His endurance is pretty pathetic.
But it's in hard though.
But he fails that, and so you're sort of like whack him in his arm after he's been whacked with this spear. So yeah, he drops his dagger out of his hand, and it's Ulrich's turn, who will approach the assassin as well, and he will whack it with his I've just selected the whole of my character sheet. He will hit it with his he's going to go up and bash it with his shield. He'll use a point of luck to reverse it to 68, which will do. The assassin's got no action points left, so he can't do anything. And I will do some damage with my shield. He's going to use his special is quite obviously is going to be bash with his shield. I need a hit location, don't I? 12.
Where's the location of the spear in his body?
That's in his abdomen, isn't it?
A 12 is the same place. Oh no, 12 is
Yeah,
chest.
that's
it's
where I
his
want it.
head.
No, it's chest.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's his chest. So yeah, do that. But I just need to. I don't think it's enough. For fall back 1 meter per every 2 points of damage rolled. So that's So Ulrich comes up and sort of like whacks it, this guy with the shield, and he sort of like gets knocked back and sort of like semi falls through the doorway. He's going to be prone now, and so it'll be quite easy to do one of two things, and then we can leave it for the night. Do you want to try to subdue him, or do you wish to kill him?
Hazra wants to subdue him because he wants to find out who sent him. And I want to do that by going over and holding my spear.
Yeah, okay.
So it's kind of controlling where he is.
Pull these.
Knowing that any moment I can pull it out.
Yeah. So just pull your... how much damage did it do going in?
It only did 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
yes, 3,
I just need to knock that down to 1 there then. Okay, so you will subdue this assassin, for want of another word. And yeah, we can pick it up next time when we start with the interrogation of the assassin. And
which we're so good at.
yeah, so influence rolls will be required, just so you know.
Can we use the intimidate roll that what's the new intimidate ability that Ulrich has?
That's to attack. We need to do good Bartleby, bad Cyrus. That's how we're gonna.
Okay. All right, we'll do that.
That's our style.
Yeah, so his influence roll, by the way, is 14. So you probably want to leave Ulrich out of the interrogation.
Okay.
And then that's it. Brilliant. So, yeah, so Melanie and her black-robed friend has stolen the book from Cyrus's order. There's lots of people within the order all searching for Melanie and possibly the book in order to get promotion. The party have saved one of the young initiates, who they've taken back to their room. However, when they are there discussing their plans, then they got attacked by assassin coming into the room, which means, yeah, there are some mighty strange things going on. Just to let you know, the title of this series of adventures is called Tackling Insanity. And I'll leave you to make note of what that is. Medivac, are you playing Dungeons and Dragons on this Thursday?
Oh, I'll soon tell you. I think we are. We missed it this Thursday, so yes, we are.
Yeah, so if you want to see some more role-playing action, then do go along to Medivac, the Healing Hoover Twitch channel next Thursday at, I want to say 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock?
7 to 7:15.
7 to 7:15. Go along and see his mighty company. Is there 9 or 8?
There's 8 in the group and 1 GM.
Yeah. Do go along and check that out. We'll be back. We won't be back next week because Mr. Pickles is busy working. So we'll be back the week after that to start the interrogation. And then hopefully for everybody to get some sleep. Otherwise, there's going to be some endurance rolls needed for the next adventure. Okay, so until next time, please look after yourself, stay safe, stay healthy, but most importantly, stay positive. And it's good night for me, good night, and it's good night for them.
Bye.
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 One of these days.
Bye.
Bye.
This video is sponsored by the Design Mechanism, the makers of Mythras. Mythras is a registered trademark of the Design Mechanism Inc., used with permission. All rights reserved.